Now, next story, we have Karen Nyamu. We know she's been very problematic. I've said this here on the show many times. Like, I am a strong believer that as women, we need to come together. We need to be all kumbaya. Like, if we had a drum beating somewhere and then women are just like sitting in front of a bonfire, I'd be happy. That would be it for me. Just like, ululating, whatever. Just being women and being together as women. However, this one woman confuses me every single time. Karen Nyamu. Okay, she has snatched the man. She has made it her almost her personality at this point. Like, we all just know Karen Nyamu for having taken Samido in, and the drama with Ede and her constantly basically being put on the side and having to like answer for her husband and stand beside him and all of that nonsense. But now it's gotten to a point where guys are pretty much just mad at her for everything, and every time she speaks, she's in a room, she's in a conversation, someone is always looking for trouble. Now, she very delicately posted a picture of herself alongside the Ministry of Labor and Social's protector, Geoffrey Kyotuko. And this picture elicited a lot of happy reviews because her caption was, "We have discussed that we are looking to strengthen this important sector." That was the picture. And then the caption was just simply work, right? But people were like over there, like, okay, it's all good. We're happy for you, doing amazing, you know, representing the youth, yada, 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 except this one guy, okay? One guy on the social media comments said, "You, Karen, you look too old for Samido though. Leave that little boy alone."
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Where do we even begin?
The girl.
Huh?
I feel like the sad truth about Karen is that whatever good works she does is just going to be taken away from the fact that she ended up dating Samido. Ata afanye nini, that's always going to be the headline that covers up all her hard work. And it just makes me sad because I think as women, we should just be really careful who we fall in love with. Because we are lovers and we are givers. And we like to do that. Just be very careful because your relationships will always end up defining you as well. And the difference between Karen and Samido, if I'm being honest, maybe stone me if you will, Samido is the one who's in the wrong in this whole situation.
Yeah.
But he's just more quiet about it. So it takes away from the fact that he's at fault. And it brings all the fault to Karen. And now it's making Karen an Akwasenjo punching bag.
Oh no.
But in real sense, Karen didn't promise Samido's wife anything in terms of loyalty or anything like that. That was Samido's commitment to her. Karen aku promise dem kitu yoyote, but now because she's the more vocal one, it's just taking away from everything, and it's taking away from the fact that it's actually Samido who's the villain in this story, and it's so sad because all her accomplishments, even like the other day when she was in this meeting and she was trying to pinpoint this issue about Jeff, this whole story that's trending, and she was doing something very powerful, but it's just sad because at the end of the day, even in that statement, under the comments, it was still the same things.
Samido. I have never looked at it from that perspective.
It just makes me really sad.
I've never looked at it from that perspective, and now that you bring it up, I'm just like, yes, that's actually very valid. Like, she really just needs to find a way to keep her relationship away from her work. Like, very if there important. Is a way she can, yes, we get she's vocal, yes, we get that she's very passionate about things that she feels she's in love with or loves to do. She's very, very passionate and then very, very vocal. However, oftentimes it's lost in translation and it's completely diluted because of that simple fact that her relationship and her work are pretty much constantly the things she's talking about on her socials. Like, if she had, what happens to politicians? Don't they get like a PR team? I think it's high time. It's high time we Olivia Pope the stuff out of everything. You guys have watched Olivia Pope and the way she was the PR manager for the president in that particular series, and she would handle things so delicately. Yes, there's drama going on. Yes, there's all of this garbage that's going on in the background, but she's very, very keen on making sure that he's not lost in translation. Yes, he's having an affair. Yes, there are, all of these things are happening in the background, but people are still focusing on the politics because that is why you are there. I think like a person like her, she should really get like a PR management team on her. That's it, by the way.
Actually, that's all she needs because she does such an amazing job, like as a politician and as a, you know, but these are the things.
Yeah.
She just needs someone to make her realize she doesn't need to respond to everything.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, by the way, that is Karen Nyamu, hire you a PR team. If you don't know anyone, Khalemi Habibi, I know a few people. I know a few people, but that was so. Do you agree with Prashant that it's true that the whole point of Karen Nyamu is that she's so vocal and unfortunately vocal about the wrong things, and that overshadows her whole situation in terms of politics? 0777293666. What are your thoughts on that? Because that is such a fresh perspective. I love it. And finally, as we wind up on the conversations, woo, Baha from Machachari. Who didn't love Machachari? Like, Machachari was just a show.
Yeah.
It felt like you were a kid and you were growing up looking at other kids who are Kenyan, and you're like, yeah, but I used to do that as well. Like, I do that as well. I could get trouble in that way as well. And Baha was that representation for all of us, and so we loved to watch that show. But at the same time, he did end up in a relationship with with Georgina. Oh, who's Carol? With Georgina and Jenga, and they now have a baby girl. And they are very, very young. They're still in their early 20s, right?
Yeah.
And for all honesty, a lot of people have come at them for that particular reason. They're like, why are you starting a family so young? You have so much time ahead of you. You have a lot going on. Focus on that first and then come back to your family. And so, unfortunately, Tyler has had to explain himself multiple times. And this is pretty much the same sentiment that has persisted. He said that... we all know his mom passed on in 2013. Unfortunately, rest her soul in peace, however. Now, when the mom passed away, Tyler said that he'd gone through a lot of pain and a lot of suffering, and he felt like there was a hole in his heart that has never been filled. And for that reason, he thought he needs to find family. And because he couldn't find family anywhere else, he had to create his own family, make his own little family in order for him to try and fill that hole that's like deep within him. And in his words, he said, let me find that. He said, this is my opinion. Guys, I am not telling people to calm down or to settle down. I made my name very, very early. I grew up and I started looking inside and I realized that I wanted to do things better and I wanted to change. And he's continued to say that the mom was very helpful with like pushing him in his career and all of that, and hence he made a name very early on. So he's been there. If it's work, he's been there, done that. If it's career, he decided pretty early that maybe he wanted to be a lawyer, but ultimately acting was more his calling, and so he settled with that. And he has made his money, so y'all don't be coming at him like you're too young, you need to go and make money. Boy made his money a long time ago. Y'all haven't, so y'all keep on your lane. So I completely agree with him. Like, if life doesn't have to have it's not a straight line.
Yeah.
Everyone's story is not the same. Simply because you went one way and it worked out for you doesn't mean that everyone else needs to follow suit.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest issue within our society. We all want to look the same. When someone is a deviant in a different way, or they stand out in a different way, we're all like, no, 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 no. Come back and do it this way, the way all of us did it, the way our parents did it, da da da. But I think he's doing very well.
Yeah.
They never have drama online. Have you noticed? They never have drama for a young guy, considering all of the other nonsense people we see on this internet, on these streets. They're very mature. So what is it we're trying to tell Tyler?
I feel like we should mind our business when it comes to Tyler and his relationship. He's doing really well. And I feel like I think as the millennials in the Kondelea, we can't wrap our heads around how fast, like the Gen Zs wanakuwa haraka. When we used to talk about Asia, then she would tell us, oh, I'm 21. And we would be like, you're lying. You're like, we can't fathom that people are wanaharakisha maisha zao sahi. They have more access. There's so much information out there. Wako na internet, wako na kila kitu. Wanakoma haraka. So when someone like Aziad was really young and she was already making so much money, her life would compare to a millennial who's like in their late 20s.
True.
So in kama tunafeel mbona yeye succeed mapema hivyo. It's the same with Tyler. He achieved success really early in his life.
True.
He's just like a Kylie. Kylie alipata mbona tuulizi Kylie mbona akona watoto wengi.
There we go.
Because if you have, what else are you waiting? Most of the time, most of us are waiting for the cash so that we're able to do the things that we want to do. So if he has the success and he has the money, what is he waiting for?
There is nothing.
Mbona lazima kukuwe na formula? Actually, the better. Because now when we're in our 40s and we're like, wait, Tyler is gonna be living it up.
Yeah.
He's gonna be living it up with his grown kids. So let the man be.
I agree. I think it's that we can't process. And when you said the Aziad story, like, I'm just like, even personally, I'm just like, God, she was young.
We're always saying, she's lying. She can't be... Girl, she just figured out her stuff early,
Pretty early.
and she had a plan, and it's worked out. Can we just let
Huh.
people? Yeah, tuache watu waishi.
And when you see people like, now that you brought the Kardashians, when you
Yeah.
see people like North on her socials, she's like fully doing her thing, and she's all of like 12, you know.
Yeah.
But, she's fully invest. She's doing her own makeup. She's doing her own hair.
She's
dressing up.
drawing.
She's doing all of these things
Yeah.
that we didn't get a chance to do until well, I didn't get a chance to do until I was in my like late 20s towards my
Yeah.
30s. And so every time I look at her and I'm like, guys, she has so much access. It's almost like a jealous point of view. I'm like, why
It's
is she
the
getting all of these
jealousy.
things and I
Low-key
didn't?
jealousy.
It really is envy and jealousy.
Yeah.
So sometimes we just like call yourself to like a small meeting and you're like,
Why am I bitter?
why? What is my problem?
Why am I bitter?
How can I improve myself first before I start casting stones and beating on people's children
Yeah, and we
because
all
they
victim
have
of- Hata mimi nilikuwa nasema
Instagram?
vibaya, because
Hey.
shuleni wase wenye wako na rich kids niko like, mbona hao
There we go.
washaanza kudrive?
Pretty much.
Na tumemaliza high school sahi.
Yeah.
Mbona?
Mbona wao? Mbona si mimi?
She should wait till she's 25 to drive. No, it doesn't work
Oh,
like
the
that.
devil worshiper. Oh, madness. I love the fresh perspective that we're getting from Prashant. Do you agree with us that Ba is really genuinely he just made his money early and therefore let his life go as it goes? And we shall see so many others of these kinds of stories where people made it super early. People had money very, very early. Look at it this way. Did Diamond try and have kids before he started making his millions?